Hey y'all, it's Steph. Happy Thursday. So today I wanted to talk about boundaries. I was very concerned when I got out of treatment, how my life was going to be. The world had not changed, but I had changed. And I was terrified to think how I was going to be able to live in the world that I had just come out of, living a totally different life, 180% different spiral than before I had gone into treatment. And so through my treatment, we discussed a lot about boundaries with my counselor and my recovery specialist. And it's funny, it's not funny, but a big, I don't know the word to use. Let's do character defect that I had, and I'm working on is setting boundaries with people. Not setting clear boundaries early on is just, you're set up to fail and be in doom because, you teach people how to treat you. And without these healthy boundaries, they don't really know what to expect from you. But in my drinking days, I had none. I had no boundaries because I was such a people pleaser, and I would do anything and everything to make someone happy. I'd say yes when I wanted to say no. I would go places that I didn't want to go. I would go places that I shouldn't go. I would be around people that I should not be around. And it put me in some very difficult places. And thank God I was able to walk away with little harm. Could have been a whole lot worse, but what harm was done because I didn't set boundaries was enough to make me realize the importance of setting those boundaries. And sober Daphne would not have been in those situations. But unfortunately, that was not the case then. So, let's see here. So getting out and into the real world, being in recovery, if you set your boundaries early, it will help ensure that recovery is consistent and progressively successful, which makes a whole lot of sense because, you got to be consistent. It's just like with a child, teaching them anything, being consistent. And so if you allow something to happen once, well, then why, they'll think, well, she did it then, why won't she do it now? So, boundaries is what sets us apart from friends, family members, and others. And one of my big boundaries that I'm having to work on is who I let into my circle. Not everyone is my friend. Not everyone has my best interest at heart. So one of the things coming out that my husband and I spoke about was the alcohol in my home. I am so blessed that he is not a big drinker. I've seen him drink one beer and he didn't even finish it since I have been out of treatment, and I've been out of treatment for over 7 months. And that was when we were in Colorado with a huge group of people, and and he didn't even finish that one. And so he knows what it has done to our life and to my life, and therefore is my biggest supporter and cheerleader, and does not want to do anything to hurt what I have gone through in the progress that I have made. And so he chooses not to, which is, it's fabulous, but I let him know all the time that he can have a drink. It's not going to bother me. But I couldn't imagine if he was a big drinker, and I had to deal with that every day, because I know that a lot of spouses and significant others don't get sober when their spouse does. And for him to put it down, it's like sitting down a piece of paper that you don't need, because he didn't need it. He doesn't need it. He doesn't like it. And he doesn't like what it did to me, and seeing, and he doesn't want to get to that point, because, there was a time when I could have stopped before that addiction kicked in, and you never know where that line is when you're crossing it. Believe me, if I had known, oh my God, I would have, I would have stopped. I would have stopped had I known what I was going to become. But that's okay. You know, it makes me who I am today. So, but as far as alcohol, being around it with my boundaries, that is not allowed in my house. You know, I have a 22-year-old daughter, and she and her boyfriend come in town a lot, and you know, they're really not drinkers, but even if they wanted to, they know it's not allowed. My husband has business partners that come in town and stay here. They know it's not coming in my house. If you go out and you've had a few drinks and you're staying here, then that's fine. I'm not going to be around you if you're drunk. You will not be in my home if you're drunk. You know, that is my boundary. This is my safe place. This is my home. Now, what goes on outside in other homes that I'm a visitor in is totally different. I will say that going into this, when I knew I would be going home a lot to Alabama, and you know, I have family members that are normal drinkers, and that was a fear of mine. You know, I don't want people to have to walk on eggshells around me, but at the same time, I appreciate, you know, when they are respectful and know the shit that I have been through. And so recently I was at my in-laws, and I know that my father-in-law and brother-in-law and sister-in-law enjoy their drink just like I used to. The only difference is they can stop, and, you know, Daphne couldn't. But it blew my mind when I was asked by my father-in-law, whose home I was in, if it was okay that he had a beer and would it bother me. And, you know, I was just in tears. I was like, wow, you know, that meant the world to me, to know that someone didn't, even though I was in someone else's home, that they, you know, respected me enough to ask me if it would make me uncomfortable, which of course I replied no. And then I did say, God, just don't get drunk and I'll be good. Just because, for one, I don't want to be around it. It takes me back to a place that I don't ever want to go to. So I have seen some people that have, you know, had too much, and I'm like, oh God, thank God that's not me today. But, you know, and then the same with my brother and sister-in-law. It was just, I was blown away that they cared so much that they did not want to make me uncomfortable. But, you know, at the same time, I'm in their territory. And so I was good with it, and it was all good. And, you know, I can look at it. I could walk right past it, because that's not who I am today. And I don't want that shit in my life. But you know what? You do what is best for you and works for you. So that was one of my main boundaries when coming back into this. Like, I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know how I would act, and I didn't know how I would feel about it. So that is one of the main boundaries that I've seen a lot on Instagram lately that has prompted me to make this video. You know, it's about what you allow in your life. And, you know, there's so many people in recovery that, you know, still smoke weed, and that's fine. And I've made a video on that, and I've shared my opinion and my views, and I'm around it. I don't want it. I don't care. Like, that is not what I want. If I want to change the way I feel, I'll drink wine, or I would, but I'm not that person today. I don't feel the need to change who I am. So, yeah, I would just say, if you are going to, you know, have a way out. You know, if you go somewhere and there's going to be alcohol, take your own vehicle. You know that you have a way out. If it's a party, you know, go late. Give everybody a chance to get their drink on, because, you know, if it's a dinner party or something, they're going to be drinking way before they start to eat. Go and show up when it's time to eat. And then, you know, make an excuse if you have to, if you start to feel uncomfortable, but get the hell out of there. You know, or I just had this conversation with a sponsee the other day, going to a cookout for work, you know, and I told her the ways, her outs, you know, and I said, well, if it was me, you know, when someone asked me about it, you know, why aren't you drinking? I'd straight up say, because I'm a fucking alcoholic. But not everybody's comfortable saying that, you know, and so I gave her the options, you know, of things to do to get out of that situation. And so I have a backup plan, you know. your sobriety means more than making somebody happy at a party or wherever. But I just think you need to let people know what you will and will not tolerate. You know, you will not bring this into my home. You will not drink around me. You know, the list goes on and on. It's what makes you comfortable. But I think laying those down early on, and so people know what to expect. I think that for me is, you know, people know if I'm going to be around, but you know, at the same time, I'm very, I always use the word fortunate. That's not the right word. Yeah, I guess it is that I'm not around it and I don't have to be around it. But at the same time, you know, most of my family lives out of town. And so when I go into town, they know what to expect. They know, you know, if I got uncomfortable, if I get antsy, there's a meeting somewhere sometime. And I'll just hop my little ass in the car and I'll be on my merry way. But I'm just so grateful that I haven't been put in that situation to where I felt the need to leave. You know, I'm comfortable enough today, which I never thought I would be around it. I don't choose to be around it. But if I am, then I'm okay with it. You know, so far I have been. But I just think, you know, you're going to lay that foundation for what you're going to tolerate. But if you have a significant other that brings it into the house, wow. I don't know. I couldn't imagine that. So I don't really, you know, I don't know. I just had a conversation with a friend that I've known for, oh my God, probably 30 years. She called me this morning, reaching out because she's having some issues, not with her addiction. She doesn't have one, but a family member, you know, about being supportive and this, that, and the other, how she should go about it. And you know, she was asking about Roddy. I couldn't have a more supportive spouse. And I think that for me makes it so much easier. And I don't know that I would be the success that I am today if it wasn't for his support. So I think that your support system is going to be major in this journey. And, you know, you've got to change your friends. You've got to control who and what you allow into your life. And for me personally, you know, staying connected and living in the program. You know, if I'm not sleeping or eating, which when I eat, I'm usually reading something, you know, it's what I do. I never imagined the day. I mean, I couldn't even imagine because I didn't know what people in recovery even did. I just thought I don't know what I thought they did, but I just didn't think that I was one of them. And I sure as hell did not want to be one of them. Because I could never imagine a day in my life without drinking. I couldn't imagine going to dinner and not having a glass of wine, but drinking water. That just didn't seem fun to me. You know, waking up, having actual coffee in my coffee cup and not something that was going to change my mood and the way I saw things. And Jesus, I'm so grateful that that's not me today. But yeah, so if you saw my post today on Instagram, it was inspired from this. I am all about my quotes right here. You don't have to be so fucking available. That is a boundary that I'm trying to learn because I feel like anytime someone needs anything, Daphne's there. So I'm going to stop what I'm doing to take off when it's really not that important. If it's someone reaching out from AA in the program, of course I will never, and I have never said no. And, you know, God willing, I never will. Unless, you know, obviously I can't get there and I can't do it. But I'm always there. I always want to be there for somebody that's reaching out because, you know, I can be their last hope and I may could say something that's going to give them exactly what they need. But as far as all this other stupid bullshit goes, that's not related to it, other people reaching out for just things, I have to say no. I have to learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. I always feel like if I say no, I have to explain why I'm saying no. And you know what? When someone tells me no, which they usually don't, because I don't really ask a whole lot out of anybody, because I like to do everything my fucking self. But if someone did, I don't think I would question them. I really don't think that I would be expecting an explanation. So I need to start looking at it that way and not worrying about upsetting somebody. And this, I love this. She set her boundaries and rebuilt her life. I am learning to rebuild slowly but surely, and having these boundaries to protect me, to protect my family. You know, and something else, I always feel like when the social media apps go off, I got to reply. Someone needs me. No one needs me. They're sending me a message. The world's not gonna fucking stop spinning if I don't stop what I'm doing right then and reply back. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that shit, I never know. It's either gonna be someone saying that something I said has helped them, or it's gonna be someone asking, do I like younger guys? Which I just got that one 2 days ago. Yeah, and for the record, the only younger guy that I like is my son. Yeah, I'm married 26 years. And again, there's so many people on Instagram that are half naked showing their bodies that are actually wanting these comments and these questions. It's not me. Nobody wants me. Thank God my husband still does. But I can only imagine with the pretty young, look, now that I say half naked, you know, people out there, what kind of comments and messages they get. Good God Almighty. And this, I love this. You have to learn to say no without feeling guilty. Jesus, help me on that. Setting boundaries is healthy. You need to learn to respect and take care of yourself. Something that us addicts and alcoholics probably never knew what that meant. And let's see. How about this? Love this. I am not selfish for putting my recovery first. Oh, you can call me selfish all you want, because you know what? If I don't take care of myself and put my recovery first, everything is going to hell in a handbasket, because anything that comes over and in front of my recovery, I will lose. And you know what? I'm not willing to lose what I have. My family means the world to me, and they know that what I'm doing. They know what I do each day. They know what comes first. And that's another reason that I've started, speaking of social media, between the messages on Facebook, Instagram, my website, because I have the comments turned off, but you can email me. My personal messages on Facebook, and the comment, and then on YouTube, the comments, which isn't many, because not really anybody knows that I have this, but just trying to get back to everyone has been a little overwhelming. So I have set up my phone to where at 8 o'clock, all of my social media is shut down. All my phone and my text messages. So I don't see them. They don't pop up. But if I want to get into it, I can. But it's so nice having that downtime. That is my time with my husband. And when that thing's turned off, I'm done. Now he's traveling right now, so of course I'm on there more than I normally would be. But you know, like when he's here, that's our time, and there's nothing that can't wait. You know, at least I don't think it is. And yeah, but it's been really freeing. And like right now, my ringer's off. I keep my ringer off most of the time. You know, and then I'll pick my phone up, and I'll check everything. You know, I'm in several group text messages. I'm like being held hostage. And I've had to put those on do not disturb or whatever that setting is. Like turn off, I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's like in sleeping mode. And then when I have a chance, I'll get in there and I'll check them. But that has been a real big deal for me to be able to disconnect from that. Because if I'm not in the rooms, the rest of my recovery tribe is mainly on Instagram. I'm not a big Facebook fan at all. I shoot everything over from Instagram to Facebook. Rarely post on my personal stuff. Very, very rarely. I don't read anything. Like I do not read anybody's anything. When I get on Facebook, it is to answer the messages and to reply back to comments on my posts that shot over from Instagram. You know, there's just so much in the day that I can take, and in what quality time, I want it to be the best that it can be. And so therefore, that's when I choose Instagram and the few groups that I'm in on Facebook. But I hardly ever even get on there anymore now because, you know, I got other things going on. But it's, you know, you got to prioritize stuff. And today, my recovery is top priority. And if it's not serving me, you know, I have to ask myself that. What good is this serving me? What purpose does this serve? Am I going to be a better version of myself by reading this bullshit? Or the bullshit that I don't want to read, you know? Or is it going to make me, is this inspiring to me? You know, and you got to kind of take those things into question, at least for me personally, because I'm all about quality, not about quantity. I don't, I don't follow that much because I want what I do. I want to be able to give it all I've got, and I want to be able to talk, and I want to be able to communicate, and I want it to be about recovery. So everything, you know, that I follow on Instagram, except for maybe 3 or 4 people that are family or friends from years and years ago, it's about recovery, about me living today, being the better version, you know, being a better version than I was yesterday. So I am going to end on this. If you're wondering about boundaries, here is some signs that you need boundaries. You feel overwhelmed. You feel resentment towards people for asking for your help. You avoid phone calls and interactions with people that you think might ask for something. You make comments about helping people and getting nothing in return. You feel burned out. You frequently daydream about dropping everything and disappearing. You have no time for yourself. There you go. When you don't have any time for yourself, I mean, what the hell? You know, you got to take care of yourself. You have to be filled up in order to give it away. And so if you're just giving everything, you have nothing. I mean, you're not going to have anything left to give. You know, you got to work on yourself before you can work on anybody else. And that's pretty much what I do every single day, is work on myself. And I just hope that, you know, somebody heard something in all this damn rambling that you can use. And I'm off to a meeting, and, you know, hey, I'm going off to work on myself. And last but not least, daring to set boundaries is about having the courage it takes to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Being a people pleaser, that is a very hard one for me. So anyway, I got one last thing. So it is important to understand that boundaries are not the same thing as barriers. You're not shutting people out of your life. You're just avoiding serious problems. Serious problems. We don't set the boundaries. I mean, shit. You know, I'm not setting myself up for failure. You know, call me crazy. Call me a prude. I don't even think that's the right word. I don't give a shit. Call me whatever. But this is what I have to do today to protect myself. And, you know, sometimes you have to protect yourself from yourself. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day.